The ocean is our means of survival. It's our way of connectedness.
From island to island, villages.
Respect the understanding that the ocean is a uniter, not a divider.
Micronesians need to be just Micronesians. We are navigators. We know the answers. It's within us. And that is...
Because for thousands of years,
we were sailing all over. Aloha, my name is Bonnie Kahapea-Tanner. I'm with Kanehunamoku Voyaging Academy. Our canoe name is Kanehunamoku. And my title is Captain and Executive Director.
what is the magic of the sea?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Hawaiian canoe can sail in this kind of ocean?
Can, because the ocean in Micronesia is different. Hawaii.
Magic is the spirituality of the ocean, of voyaging, of being connected to the elements so that the elements actually talk to you. Magic is seeing the squall and blowing your conch shell to communicate to the squall. And maybe you want the squall to come to you because you need the wind, or you need the rain because you got to replenish your fresh water. Or maybe you're communicating to the squall like, no, I don't need you. I need you to stay over there. Magic is when you see a fish and you go, oh, okay, now let's go this way and tonight we'll be at my island. And it's like, what? It's having that deep relationship to the elements so that they're not only your, like the elements become your friends, but it's almost like you're part of that spiritual world, right? You're part of it. And so energy and everything people talk about now in the Western world about quantum physics and things like that, it's like, well, our ancestors had that, right? And they actually could utilize things in nature and vice versa, right? Nature utilized us. If any of us can get even close to where they were in that ability, then we'll be good. And it starts really simple: feeding the canoe, respecting the canoe like your mother, respecting your navigator like your father, and learning that until you can then be like, have a relationship with each cloud, right? With each drop of rain, with the sun. It's all of that. Because yeah, magic is awesome.
Can you tell me a bit about your teachings and who you learned from?
I come from the canoe Makali'i, which is a voyaging canoe on Hawai'i Island. And our kumu, our captain and navigator, are Chad Paishan, Shorty Bertelman, Clay Bertelman, and also Mau Pialug. Herb Kane, he said in a documentary that the canoe is the central object. If the canoe is the central object that brings us all together, all people that are connected to the ocean had some form of va'a, right? Whether it was a double hull, a single hull. Va'a represents exploration, it represents ingenuity, it represents intellect, adventure, right? Like even today, right? Why do you go across oceans? For the adventure, for the challenge. Because you have to, because your land has now been wiped out. So the canoe, being that central object, also holds the values of the community. We talk about the canoe is an island, the island is a canoe, right? He wa'a, he moku, he moku, he wa'a. So the canoe is like the vessel that holds everything about the culture. It holds all your values, all the best things about, and the highest levels of culture are on the canoe. So in 1999, the Voyaging Canoe Makali'i made a promise to Mau to sail him home and to honor him in front of his own people. And so I was fortunate to be a part of the crew for that voyage. It was awesome. I mean, just getting to spend all of that time with him on the ocean, watching him intimately interact with his haumana, with his student, Shorty Bertelman. But I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned was just watching him and how he behaved on the canoe, how he moved on the canoe, even how he ate on the canoe, and just watching how he lived, you know, in his element on the water. And I think there's just so many lessons that I learned and that I'm still learning from that experience.
In your words, why do you think navigation and being a practitioner in navigation is so important today?
So one of Mau's things that he always shared was practice your culture. You know, that might seem like a simple statement, but it's actually super deep. You have to practice your culture in order to live it. You can't just be Hawaiian or Micronesian and not do your cultural things, not speak your language, not be of the va'a or of hula or of lauhala or of anything. Even politics is part of our culture. Keeping the navigation culture alive, I think today a lot of people might kind of take it for granted because it has been revived and you can learn it pretty freely now. But just in one generation, we could actually lose it again. Yeah. And so the importance of perpetuating what we know and what we've learned, but also pushing it into the next level, right? And how do we apply our traditional knowledge to solve today's problems, like climate change, like food security? So we're not just navigating across the oceans, but we're utilizing the navigational knowledge to navigate through time and space. And how do we take these lessons that have been passed down to us and really apply it to today? I think that if you look at Micronesia, their navigation has been unbroken for thousands of years. So when they learn, there's all these levels, right? First you learn Pafu, then there's all these levels up to when you get to Bipo and beyond. I think in Hawaiian navigation, or what we see today, it's also in levels, but we're nowhere near yet to where the Micronesians are, because they have an unbroken tradition that goes back thousands of years. Whereas here in Hawaii, we lost the knowledge, right? Like we were blind. We had no eyes. And so when Mau came back and gave us our eyes, right, which was in the 70s, he gave us our eyes, but we're still learning to see. And many of us don't have our language. A lot of the knowledge is in the language, and we're still learning that too.
So language plays a vital role.
Definitely, language plays a huge role in our ability to see again. We're still evolving the practice, and we're still developing our relationship to the elements and creating that structure that, you know, the Micronesians have had for centuries. Now we got to figure out what we actually do about that, right? Yeah, what is the action? What is the action that needs to happen? Because we know that that's the truth, but what is now the action steps that we take to actually do something about it? Especially in Micronesia, where, you know, sea level rise is affecting them already, but is gonna affect them greatly before, other places like Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Over there, it's tragic.
We're all these tiny islands spread apart in the Pacific Ocean. But we share so much in common.
The title of my entire time in Oceania is One Ocean, One People.
So it fits perfect with your story. Like Mau's always said, nobody made the division. This is Polynesia, this is Micronesia, this is Melanesia. So his thing was always one people. He wanted us to be one family. We can say we want to make one family, but the actual action of that is our biggest challenge. And then with socioeconomic status too, right? So there's more things in that sense that are dividing us, but that's probably our biggest challenge. How do we all live here together? How do we support each other, right? Micronesians, Hawaiians, how do we live here? Because a lot of them live here now. How do we share the space? How do we honor them? How do they honor and respect our space? If Mau's reason for sacrificing and sharing his culture 40 years ago was to get us to this point today, where now we have to collectively come up with solutions, it's the kuleana of everyone that got to benefit from that, to help to be part of the solution.
To carry on, but also to evolve too.
Yeah, we have to evolve, right? If the climate keeps going the way it is, access to the ocean, being able to stay in our lands, whether it's Micronesia or even in parts of Hawaii, that's all going to be challenges, If we all end up on the continent together, then what happens, right? But you gotta maintain your identity and practice your culture in whichever ways that we have to evolve it too. So, we try and okay, hula people do the hula thing, lauhala people do the lauhala thing. But at some point, we're gonna have to come together, right? Because the culture is one thing. Cannot just be this or that. You gotta be able to incorporate all of it.
It started out with those Samoan boats. One village thought to make the boat go faster, add more seats.
I think for those of us that were blessed, really blessed to spend some really significant amount of time with Mau, we really feel like a responsibility to carry on his story and his legacy. We do that here at Kanehunamoku through teaching. Every time the canoe moves, we're learning new things. We're learning new things about ourselves as an individual, about ourselves as a crew, as a family of the canoe, and then we're learning and deepening our relationship to the environment and to all the elements. So every time we go out, we're always learning something. The canoe is significant because it brought us here long ago, and it's going to take us to where we need to go next. Metaphorically, even physically, it'll take us to where we need to go.
But the ocean is what holds us together, is what ties us together. And it's the base of our foundation. It's voyaging. And it's how we will always find each other.